This is going to be a quick little test with the real mic of this 5F4 Super Circuit, the Clark Penrose. Now that the DC is off the inputs and I can move my volume pots on the guitar without horrible noise. So we're going to give it a quick playing test on both channels. I spoke to the owner this morning and he let me make an improvement to the cathodiene phase inverter, which should reduce a form of grid clamping that cathodiens are real prone to. I'm not going to get too far in the history of Fender phase inverter designs, but the earlier ones had a paraphase phase inverter, and then they went to the cathodiene, and then they went to the Schmidt or long-tailed pair. And most Fenders that you play have the long-tailed pair. The 5F6A Bassman certainly did. Everything pretty much except the Princeton after that did, and the Champ obviously. But this one has the cathodiene, which has some unique characteristics which some people love and some people hate. I have reduced some of the negative aspects of that cathodiene phase inverter without taking away the things that people love. So we'll start with some clean stuff, go higher gain, and then we'll do both channels. The owner uses Les Paul, so this SG will have to do. I'm just going to leave treble and bass about noon. That said, as I mentioned earlier, midpoint on the treble and midpoint on the bass is really just above noon. This is the more balanced sound. And you'll notice that as you turn the treble up, you get more gain. That's just how the thing works. Now there is an artifact that you will hear with the distortion on this amp and similar cathodiene phase inverter Fenders, and it is reduced after the change I made, but it is still there to an extent. It's unavoidable. It's why they went from the cathodiene to the split-tailed. That said, that's different than the tearing paper sound that I was initially getting on this amp when the bias of V1 was off. So. And you can hear at real high gain, there's still a little bit of, and that's, hopefully that'll bake out. Again, I can make that totally go away if I change the physical wiring of those grid stoppers to the 60s style rather than 50s. You can hear a little bit of, in the beginning of ghosting or note doubling. This amp has very low filtering. It's just part of the circuit. Let's try the bright channel. All right, I'm hearing a lot of things in there that I'm not thrilled with. I'm going to talk to the owner. At this point, I'm going to urge him to let me change the input grid wiring to the 60 style. It does not change the circuit, does not change what's happening as far as the schematic goes. It's just a physically different placement, and it'll get the last of that grid leakage out because I'm really hearing it there, and it's bugging me. The rest of it seems to be behaving pretty much as normal. I need to triple check the bias on this amp. There are just a couple little things. It's not quite where I want it to be. I know I can get it better. I did get a lot of the grid clamping out of the cathodione. I will show that when I'm done. I ordered a Jupiter cap to go in there. I've got a $1 capacitor in for the change I made right now. The Jupiter is $12 and was shipping $20 for one cap. I think Jupiters are crazy, but the owner wanted it, as Clark made it. So the Jupiter is incoming. I'm gonna see where the bias is really at now that it's had all this playing time, and I've got to change those input grid resistors. I tried to make it work with 50s, but it's just not all the way gone, and you really hear it at the higher gain stuff. It's frustrating to me that someone makes an amp just like they did in 1957, including the dumb stuff. So that's a difference of amp building philosophy. Anyway, I can sort this out.